Hi everybody, I'm going to read this story this morning. It's called Jolly Snow. It was written by Jane Hissey, and Jane Hissey also did the illustrations. And this is a story about some characters. They're toys and they live in a family home and they get up to all sorts. And this story is about them trying to find a way to make snow. So let's see what happens. It was cold and grey outside. Jolly Tall, the giraffe, had been gazing out of the window for days. "What are you waiting for?" asked Rabbit. "I'm waiting for it to snow," said Jolly. "It is winter, isn't it?" Said Rabbit. "It doesn't always snow in winter." "In fact, it hardly ever does," said Duck gloomily. "I know where there's some snow," said Little Bear. "It must be left over from last winter. I'll get it for you." So this is Jolly Tall, the giraffe, Rabbit. I'm sure you can guess who that is. And here is Little Bear. Without waiting to explain, Little Bear rushed out of the room. In a moment, he was back again, carrying a large glass bubble. Inside the bubble, they could see a little house and a tree covered in a layer of tiny white snowflakes. "Is that all snow does?" asked Jolly, staring into the bubble. "Does it just lie around making things whiter than usual?" "Of course not," said Little Bear. "That wouldn't be any fun. You can make snow into balls and throw it." "Or slide on it," said Zebra. "And jump into heaps of it," said Rabbit, "and make footprints." "You can build things with it too," said Duck. "Goodness," said Jolly Tall. "There doesn't look to be enough of it for that." He thinks the snow is the only snow is in the globe. Holding the glass bubble tightly, Little Bear jumped up and down. A flurry of snowflakes leaped from the tiny house and tree and rushed around inside the glass. "Look at it now," he squeaked. Here's Zebra looking. "There's still not enough to make a snowball," said Jolly. "And anyway, you can't get it out," said Duck. "Wait a minute," said Zebra. "I know where there's lots of snow." She led the way to the kitchen where Bramwell Brown was busy making biscuits. Look what's happening. To stop the biscuit dough sticking to the rolling pin, he was shaking flour from a flour shaker. "Whoopee!" cried Zebra, dashing under the falling snow. "I'm in a snowstorm." In no time at all, her black stripes had begun to disappear. Rabbit tried to gather up a pawful of the snow flour. "It's not very good for snowballs," he said. "It doesn't stick together." "But it's perfect for dough balls," cried Little Bear, rolling up a piece of dough and throwing it at Rabbit. Look, he's got all the snow dough balls lined up on the rolling pin and he's throwing them. The dough ball stuck to Rabbit's bottom and looked like an extra tail. "This flour snow doesn't come off," said Zebra, jumping up and down and trying to shake herself clean. "I think you're going to need a bath," said Bramwell. He filled a dish with soapy water and the snowy Zebra climbed in. She began to splash about, sending bubbles flying everywhere. "It's still not coming off," she grumbled. "It just gets stickier and stickier." "Flour and water make a sort of glue," said Duck. "You'll probably have to stay white forever." "No, you won't," said Bramwell kindly. "We'll get you clean." All the scrubbing and splashing made even more bubbles. "Snow bubbles!" cried Little Bear. He was jumping about and popping them with his paws. "Hurry up, Zebra. We want to use your bath as a snow machine." Do you see Duck having a look at another kind of duck? He's saying, "Hello, are you like me?" And after lots of rubbing and scrubbing, Zebra's stripes at last reappeared. The others wrapped her in a warm towel and looked into the bath. What have you done with all the snow bubbles? Asked Little Bear. They've all gone. Bubbles never last, said Duck, and anyway, they would have made very sloppy snow. Why don't we go and see if Old Bear has any ideas? Old Bear was by himself in the dining room, making paper decorations. He'd made paper stars, paper bells, and paper lanterns. He'd even made paper snowflakes. You can't really play with these, said Little Bear. Trying to slide on a snowflake. You see, it's not really working for him. No, you can't, said Old Bear, rescuing his decoration. They're only meant for looking at. We want some snow for Jolly, said Rabbit. Snow you can play with. What about these, said Old Bear, scattering a blizzard of scrap paper pieces up in the air. Lovely, said Rabbit. And nice and slippery too, said Little Bear, taking a run at a heap of them and skidding along on his bottom. What we need is a sledge, said Rabbit, or Little Bear will wear out his trousers. He fetched a cardboard box and Bramwell cut away the sides. Duck tied a string to the front and they pulled it along to test it. And there it is with the sledge. Now, if we had a slope, said Rabbit, we could whiz down on the sledge. I don't think I could, said Jolly. I wouldn't fit in it. Never mind, said Bramwell. You can help with the slope, Jolly. Bramwell Brown disappeared into the bedroom and came back pulling a large white sheet. He gave a corner to Jolly. This is the white sheet. Now, said Bramwell, when the others climb on, lift your end and they should slide all the way down. Now that's good because Jolly is tall and that means he can make a good slope. Rabbit and Little Bear pushed the sledge onto the sheet and climbed in. There's only room for two, said Rabbit. Don't worry, said Zebra. I'll slide down on my tummy. As soon as they were ready, Little Bear called out to Jolly, 1, 2, 3, go! Woo! Jolly and Bramwell lifted their end and nothing happened. Wobble it a bit, called Rabbit. We seem to be stuck. Jolly and Bramwell shook the sheet as hard as they could and suddenly the toys found themselves sliding very fast to the other end. Look out! Cried Little Bear. Oh my goodness. As the sledge whizzed off the sheet across the room and crashed into the wall on the other side. Oh dear. I think we need a softer landing, said Rabbit, fluffing up his flattened fur and helping Little Bear to his feet. He piled up a heap of cushions against the wall, and then all three toys bravely climbed back onto the sheet. Ready, steady, go, they called to Jolly. Up went the sheet, down went the toys, straight into the heap of cushions. As they landed, clouds of feathers puffed out of a little hole in one of the cushions and filled the room. Can you see feathers starting to puff around? Look, it's feather snow, they cried. Little Bear made the hole bigger with his paw and jumping on the cushion made more feathers escape. Very soon, all the toys were jumping in the feathers. They rolled in them, crawled through them and piled them in heaps. Is this like snow? Asked Jolly. It's better, said Little Bear. It doesn't melt and it doesn't make you cold. Let's put some round the windows, suggested Rabbit. Then it will look as if real snow has settled there. He climbed up to the windowsill and began to pile feathers in each corner. When he reached the third window pane, he stopped and looked, and then looked again. Somebody has already done this one, he called to the others. The windows have got a white covering all around the edges, but it's on the outside. It isn't feathers, cried Little Bear excitedly. It's real snow. All the toys crowded onto the sill and stared out of the window in amazement. Now we can play outside, said Zebra. Well, actually, it looks a bit deep for me, said Little Bear. And a bit cold for me, said Old Bear. At that moment, Bramwell Brown came into the room carrying a huge plate of his special snowflake biscuits. I think what you need is some of my snow, he said. Jolly Tall thought about the flour snow and the feather snow and the bubble snow and the paper snow. Then he looked at the real snow floating down outside the window. I think I like all kinds of snow, he announced. But, he added, munching a snowflake biscuit, Bramwell's snow is probably the snow I like best of all. Well, I think they all look like they've had a lot of fun. And that is the story of Jolly Snow. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again tomorrow.